Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Randy. I'm a new hobbyist at leather crafting, and tonight I want to make a belt for myself with the whole belt and a basket weave. So I just bought the belt straps. I got these from Maker Supply, and it's nice Herman oak, 10 ounce. Tried some leaves over here. In my last video, I showed you guys that I bought the belt stripper skiver. I was trying to skive this by hand, and it was very difficult because the Herman oak is tough. And so I bought a pull-through skiver. Check my last video, and I pulled this one through, and so it's like half the thickness, so I can curl it over for the buckle and not be really thick. So I started to cut the tip on it. What do they call this? An English tip or something. So let me just finish that off. I cut one side already. Okay, I'll sandpaper that and make the point a little bit finer, but we can shorten this up. Seeing as this is for me, I already know that this belt fits me. Make sure I'm right, because you measure twice and cut once, right? We've all learned that lesson. So that should do it there. So this is an 1.5 inch strap. So I need to run a center line. I'm going to alternate on each side of that line. Just going to draw a pencil line. See if we can put a straight pencil line down that. So next thing I think I'll do is I'm gonna edge a border. I'm going to use my stitching groover. This here you can set to whatever you want for a distance from the edge. Pull it along. It's going to cut a little strip down there, and that's really used for your stitches. A little spot for stitches to lay in, so they don't get abrased. Or, but I'm not going to stitch this belt because it's too long to hand stitch, and it's 10 ounce, so it'll be okay for me. Later on, if I do get a sewing machine, then I'll line belts and put a backing and stitch them. But for now, this is just going to be as is. But I do want to put a groove line, and when I antique it, that'll be a nice deep color. I'm going to do this at 1/4 inch on each side. So 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch. I got my line in the center. It's going to give me 1 inch of room to do the basket weave. So it's not going to be a whole lot of rows, but I think it'll be okay. Still using my grandfather's mallet. So this is the first one. Now I'm going to put one of these straight edges before the center right into the same edge on the stamp that I just did. And I'm going to drop it under the line. So that guy's going to fit right into that slot, hopefully. My first one is even a little bit above the line. So I'm going to drop this down a little bit because I'm not even on the first one wasn't even exactly on the line. So let's see what this does. It's crooked. That's why basket weave is so hard. How many times do I have to do this to even get it decent? Being a beginner is frustrating. All three look crooked. The only good thing is that once you have a bunch of them, they kind of hopefully hide each other. Maybe your eye doesn't quite pick it up at a glance. So I'm going to go all the way down the belt, going on each side of the line. I'm not going to bore you with that. I'll just tell you what I'm going to do after. Once I have these two lines all the way down, I'm going to jump up and do the next line and put these edges into the ends of the ones I just did. Be something like that. And the same thing below. But this is the idea. We'll do another. Into the bars of the one before it. Kind of speeding it up for you. By right, you should just go right down the line on either side and start that way, but just to kind of show you, because I know you don't want to watch me do that whole thing. So that's the gist of it, all the way down. Let me get back to what I should be doing. Making one pass all the way first. Maybe as I warm up, I'll get better at it. Try something different and try coming toward myself. This is probably a better way to do it. I can see the line a whole lot better. Some of these are not very straight, but I think when I turned it toward myself, I think these came out a lot straighter than up here. So instead of going this way and you're trying to see the line, I think coming down the line like this, you can see the line a lot better and follow it. Because right here where I started, these look pretty straight. These back here do not look straight. I'm going to give this a little spray. Let's keep going. Need some practice, need to work on some technique, I guess. I will keep practicing because I want to be able to do this. I like the basket weave. So I'm going to keep doing this until I do it good. I'm sure it's my technique and my inexperience, because I watched Don Gonzalez do stamping and it's right on. I know he's been doing it for like 15 years. Granted, he's done lots of stamping, lots of carving. I watch a lot of his videos and then I give it a try. He's my mentor. He doesn't know it, but I think it's better to go down one line than to be jumping back and forth top to bottom. Finding it a little bit faster. I'm going to start this half moon thingy here on the tip. Work my way along. I don't want to start out there and come this way and get to the tip and have a half tip at the point and the other one a full one and have it look all funky. Put this right in the corner. Maybe I won't get right into the point. Leave it out just enough so I get a nice shell on each side of the point. If I come in here, the two shells are going to be overlapping. I'm going to go out just a hair. The idea is to kind of hide where these drift off into nowhere land. Give it a little push and you can kind of get an impression. So I just want the rays of this sunrise or whatever this is just touching each other. That was a kind of a miss. So I guess I'll do the same here. So I don't know if these are going to match up, but if I have to overlap, I'm going to overlap down here and not right on the tip where it's more noticeable maybe. So I'm going to go back to the tip and work toward the center. If I have to space it out, overlap, or give a little gap, I'll do it down here where it probably won't notice as much. Looks like I can fit three. Maybe they touch a little bit more than the others. So I'll go a little closer here. Maybe not. One there. One there. Shit. Missed my line. I came off. One under my line. Didn't want to do that. maybe I'll take my swivel knife, make that line a little more definite. I don't know if it's a good idea or a bad idea, but my knife wants to just dive right in here. Oh. I don't know if this was a good idea or not. Feel it falling into that groove I made with the stitch groover. Been easy if I just had a pencil line. I guess it's either stitch groover or swivel knife. Maybe not both. Keeps falling into the stitch groove I made. Next time I'll just do swivel knife. Shit. Bitch. Yeah, I'm getting caught up in that stitch groove. I think it'd be better to do a pencil line and cut your swivel knife line first, so you're not bouncing around into the stamp impressions, and the stitch groove line wasn't a good idea. Again, first time. I'm learning a few things as I go here. Good thing it's my belt. It's going to be a work belt. Stop there. All right, let's move back to the center bench, and put a bevel on this thing. Well, first, let's take care of this back skying here. I like this little cutter. Okay, so that's where the buckle's going to be. So we take that down so it's easy to bend. I'll go to the other bench, and we're going to bevel, and we'll run a bevel so we don't have the sharp right angle here. We'll bevel the front and the back side. All right, so we have our Tandy Craft Tool Pro. It's the number 2. Pretty wide mouth on it there, but this is a 10 ounce piece of leather, so let's see how it goes. So what this is doing is taking off an edge so the belt isn't sharp against you. It's going to have a bevel to the sides. And we're going to burnish those, sand them down, shine them up. Next, we're going to sandpaper. All right, back at it. So today I'm going to make a belt keeper, and then I'm going to oil everything up. So let's get this done. So this is the pot that I thinned out. It's going to be curled over for the buckle and the belt keeper. So I'm going to put that against the belt. 1/2-inch keeper. The last time I did one, my friend's belt there, I skived both ends, lapped them over and stitched it. This one I'm going to try butting the two ends together and run across stitch across them. First I need to know the length. Okay, let's give it a try. I'm going to go across the back in the bar shape. Similar to when you're tying the boots up and you're doing the bar. The bar stitch across, so all you have is the bars, and the back side's got the crisscross, so this is kind of the same thing. I got the X on the face and bars on the inside. So on the inside we have three bar looking stitches on the inside. We got the crisscross X's on the outside here. I'm going to go across to the opposite side. And the ends. Let's get the belt, make sure it works. Stitches you'll never see. I have a bench I like to do my oiling and painting on, but it's preoccupied right now, so this is the stamping bench. Now it's going to be the oiling bench right now. I always say cardboard when I have large boxes, but you never know when you're going to need it. So I take a lot of my tips from Don Gonzalez. I watch all his videos. And with the wool dauber, he always mentions to burn off the little frizzies. The little hairs first. I don't have any wool large pieces, so I'm going to use the dauber. And other things I've oiled, I've used the Phoebing's Neats foot oil. It tends to darken the leather, and I don't want to do that, so I'm taking another tip from Don Gonzalez, and he uses olive oil, which I have because we cook with it. I don't want to use it all because I don't have a whole lot left, but I'll just use this little paint container. I don't know how much it's going to eat up. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to use the wool dauber and oil up this belt. I guess I'm going to do both sides. Why not, right? Let's do the keeper. Okay. Still have a little bit left for cooking. Okay, that's it. Let that dry overnight and we'll antique tomorrow. I'm in the basement. And I don't have enough sockets. I don't have enough wall fixtures for lights. I'm using extension cords. It kind of sucks. So I'm going to mark the holes to make our supply template. Hey everyone, welcome back. It's been a few days since I oiled this belt. I didn't use the Neats foot oil because I tried it before and it really darkened up the leather. I thought the olive oil would be a little lighter, and it still it still did give it a little bit of a darker color. So today I'm going to put a coat of tan coat on it. That stuff dries pretty quick. Tan coat, so I noticed when I did something without tan coat and I antiqued all of the areas, even the areas I didn't want to antique, stained a little bit dark. So I think the tan coat will help resist that, and the antique will end up just going into the stamped areas. So a quick coat of tan coat, and then that dries fairly quick, and then hopefully today I can antique also. All right, so this is my bench I use for painting, dyeing, and tan coat. So this Freebrings tan coat. Just going to slap it on with a wool dauber. So I call this the beginner videos because I am a beginner. I haven't seen anyone do any videos who's at the beginning stage that I am. I'm not putting the videos out there to teach others. I'm kind of putting them out there, one, for my own sake. I'll be able to see my progress. Maybe someday, when I have grandkids, they'll be able to look back and say, oh, that was my grandfather. Actually making things with his own hands. And also it's kind of fun to do the videos. Keeps me up on my computer skills between editing, posting, trying to make a decent video. I'm aware there's lots of guys out there who have some excellent videos, and videography is super great. I'm not trying to compete with them guys. This is just me doing my own thing. Hopefully there's some beginners out there who won't mind watching and kind of can see the mistakes I'm making and see they're not alone in making mistakes. Every beginner is going to make errors, and that's how you learn. So I know, watching all those guys that are like super talented is a little bit you watch all these guys that are super talented, and sometimes it makes you a little discouraged because you're not there and you want to be. And they look like they make these things like effortlessly, and they come out super nice. And you look at yours and it's like, yeah, it's okay, but everyone, I'm sure all those guys started off in the same boat. Just you're seeing the videos of the guys that have been doing it for years. I don't have enough years left. I started this hobby very late, and I know I'm not going to have 40 years of experience to show off. It's not going to happen. But I'm going to retire, a year or two maybe. I'm going to have lots of time, and I'll probably be focusing on this stuff because I like doing it. And hopefully I'll see improvement from these videos that I'm making today. Probably doing this like overkill. Maybe you're not supposed to wipe it so many times, but it kind of bubbles up when it hits all these cuts and stamps. Hopefully it dries up and it's decent. But there's no turning back, so the keeper, there's no stamps on or anything, but I'm going to coat it just so everything has the same color. Maybe I'll even wipe it with the antique just so it matches completely. So what's left? Antique, then give it a recoat, burnish the edge, and put on the rivets and the buckle. Quite a few steps to making a belt. Looks like a simple thing, but it's time consuming. Alright, let that dry, see what happens to it. And we'll come back and hit it with the antique. Hey everyone, I want to put a coat of tan coat on the belt, and now I'm going to antique it. Just going to pull it out with my finger, smear it on. This is the fun part. You want to work it into all the cracks, all the stamping impressions you've made. Get that belt keeper. Not that it's stamped, but just to make all the colors consistent. And I'm not going to leave it on that long, because I don't want it to darken any more than it has to. I'm going to wipe it off. I know this light sucks. I'll fix it. Hey, good morning. It's a new day. Let's get that last coat of tan coat on this belt. So the antique gave the belt keeper, which was not stamped, a nice color. It'll match with the belt. I think this last coat of tan coat's going to leave a glossy finish to the belt. And seal in everything. without a deep examination of this belt, I can't, just glancing at it, I don't see any, I can't tell where I messed up doing the stamping, where I went off my center line or went crooked going from one basket stamp to the next. So I think wearing this on a pair of jeans, it's going to look decent. I'm going to stop there. I'm going to leave it like that. So the cool thing about having your shop right in your basement is you can run down here. I think it's like 10:30 p.m. right now. I want to finish this belt I'm making for myself. It's been going on for way too long. I have a couple of buckles. I have one from Buckle Guy, 1.5 inches. It's like a stainless silver, nice looking buckle. But I bought a couple of these on Amazon. It's a Tandy. It's called the Brass Wave Buckle, 1.5 inch solid antique brass wave buckle. This thing weighs a ton. It's a monster. I'm not really too keen on it. This is it. It's huge. It weighs a ton, but I have it. I'm going to use it. It's my belt. One of first projects, you know. So I already spent enough money on it. I'm gonna use this buckle. So let's do it. I need to get a couple of rivets. I'll move over here to the rivet area. Recently I did get this rivet press from Buckle Guy, but it might take a little while to get all the attachments that go with it. So I have one right now, and I have the one that fits my double cap rivets because I use those a lot. So when you buy a press like this, I was making some keychains. Anyway, it's in here pretty good. So when you buy a press, you have to get the attachments to use the press. Say, example, snap. If you want to do snaps or other sizes, you have to get the base and the piece that goes up here into the top that fit that. So it can get pretty expensive, but over time we'll build them up. Again, all these packages are still here, all the different rivets I have, but I did get a bunch of drawers. I'll label them all, and every different one will have its own drawer. That'll be easy to find. But for now, I need to get my glasses. Here we are. Keeper between the rivets. Okay, let's get this first one in. Washer over the top. One of these has a hole in it. 9 stamped here. Hole for the rivet post. See what happens. Okay, there's one rivet. Get the keeper in there. Again, set it. So this was the best I could find. I got this at Lowe's. I was trying to find one with a long handle for more leverage because cutting the rivets is a bitch. These are solid brass, solid copper, I believe. So I'm going to pinch it in one direction. Start the cut and then go the other way. Try to snip this off. You gotta be careful because these things fly. That's one cut. I think something with longer handles, more leverage would be better. Would have liked to cut it down lower with a better pair of cutters. Nice and smooth. Seems good. If it isn't enough, I'll get a regular ball peen hammer and flatten them out, but I think it's fine like that. And it is through.